you can get good deals. I mean, you're talking about $200 off Cody Bellinger base PSA 10s. Welcome, everybody, to Dinging Corners, a baseball podcast powered by SlabStox. I'm your host, Nate, and today we are going to talk about 5 players in the MLB who have been struggling as of September 16th, 2020, which is today, which I'm recording. You'll be watching tomorrow, and yet feel like they're probably pretty good prices. So the 5 guys are, and allow me to share my screen here so you can see it. The 5 guys are Nolan Arenado, Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, Javier Baez, Jose Altuve. So you can see their stats here. And before we begin, just so you know, if you're looking at this, you can see the Fangraphs page here. Fangraphs is very cool. They allow you to do multiple things when you're looking for custom data. You can enter a custom range here. So if you just wanted the last week, say from 9/9 to 9/16, you could enter those in, submit custom data, and be able to see a list of players with, and you can click on WRC Plus or slugging or BABIP or whatever you want. What I've done here is I went and I selected, I went to WRC Plus and I went, WRC Plus, I think. And I went down and I found a list of players who are underperforming, along with Christian Yelich, whose WRC Plus is not that bad. But he's been, struggling compared to his old self. So I added him in this list. And then I went down here and did a custom player list that you can see, and you can add players. And so then you just type in their names, add them in, and then you can get a custom list here that you are looking at on your screen. Anyways, so we've got Nolan Arenado, currently hitting 262, 316, 458. All in all, not terrible numbers, but when you factor in Coors Field, a 84 OPS, 74 OPS is not very good. And a 84 WRC plus, also not very good. But he's been the most valuable player, 0.9 wins above replacement per Fangraphs because of his defense. Next, we've got Christian Yelich, who 209, 335, 448, but he's been worth 108 WRC plus, and he's been worth 0.5 wins above replacement. As you can see over here, 15% walk rate, which is really nice for Christian Yelich, but a 32% K rate is well out of his career norms. He's also hitting the ball better than everyone else at 239 ISO and a higher BABIP at 264. But you'll notice with all of these guys that their batting average on balls in play, their BABIP's extremely low. Cody Bellinger, 216, 294, 409, which you can see, and a 0.4 wins above replacement. Good for 89 WRC plus, which is 11% worse than league average. Not very good there. And a low ISO, but still good walk rates and K rates. And then you've got Javi Baez and Jose Altuve. Baez hitting 206, 245, 378, which is a 62 WRC plus. That's atrocious, and he's only worth 0.2 wins above replacement. And then Jose Altuve is hitting 219, 283, 315, which is good for a 68 WRC plus, which is also atrocious. And he's been worth negative 0.1 wins above replacement on the year, which is also obviously really bad, even though his strikeout rates and his walk rate's pretty good. So those are the 5 guys that we are going to be talking about today. We will stop screen sharing so you can see my beautiful face. And we are going to talk about those 5 guys and their prices and what to make of it. So we're going to start with Cody Bellinger. He's 25 years old, which is right before he's about to be entering his prime. Usually 27, 28 is when you enter your prime. He's 25, and he was really good last year. Obviously, he has not been good this year. You just saw his stats just a little bit ago. He's hitting 216, 294 with a 409 slugging percentage. Well, Cody Bellinger, his 2017 Topps Update rookie PSA 10 at the end of July, beginning of August. So I took a range. It could go from July like 28th to August like 4th. Somewhere in there, in that range, we took various numbers, and his cards were going for between $400 to $450, which is an absurd number for a base PSA 10, considering there's a ton of them, and yet here we are, $400 to $450 as of today, and today is September 16th. I'm shooting this at 6:42 p.m. on Wednesday, September 16th, and they are $220. So you're looking at almost half price from the beginning of August till now. Some notes on Cody Bellinger. He's a Rookie of the Year in 2017. He's an MVP in 2019, which was just last year, two-time All-Star, and he was worth 13.3 Baseball Reference wins above replacement in 2018 and 2019. All of that is to say he is an extremely good player, and we will get to that in a little bit. Christian Yelich, 2013 Topps Update Rookie PSA 10s, beginning of August, end of July, $275 to $325. There's like a $50 range there, which is big. But the point is, as of today, September 16th, they are all the way down to $200. You're looking at a $75 drop at least, sometimes over a $100 drop. A third of the price cut off his cards there. And some notes on Christian Yelich. Obviously, he's 28. He's an MVP in 2018. He was a runner-up MVP in 2019. He's a two-time All-Star, a three-time Silver Slugger. He had 1,000 OPS the last 2 years, each year. And he's been worth 14.3 Baseball Reference wins above replacement in 2018 and 2019. Javi Baez is 27. His 2015 Topps Series 1 rookie PSA 10s, beginning of July, or beginning of August, end of July, we're going for around $100. As of today, September 16th, they're going for around $75. Javi Baez, you'll know, is one of the Cubs' top three players with Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant, both of who are also doing very poorly. Chris Bryant's a former MVP himself who is barely batting above 200. Anthony Rizzo is also barely batting above 200, along with Javi Baez. But he was a runner-up to MVP in 2018, and he's been worth 11.8 Baseball Reference wins above replacement in 2018 and 2019 combined. So Javi Baez, 27 years old, should be entering his prime, and yet doing very, very poorly. And his prices have dropped by a fourth. Jose Altuve is 30 years old. He's the elder statesman on this list. In 2011 Topps Update Rookie PSA 10, end of July, beginning of August, they were going for around $95-ish. A couple dollars more, a couple dollars less, but never hit $100. As of today, September 16th, we're talking $70 to $80, somewhere in there. There's a wide range of cards selling in that range. Excuse me. Some notes on Jose Altuve. He's a six-time All-Star with an MVP award in 2017. He was third place MVP in 2016, and he was worth 8.8 wins above replacement in 18 and 19, which is a far cry from the 2 years prior, which he was worth 15 plus wins above replacement by Baseball Reference in 16 and 17. So he's 30 years old. Remember that, in that, we could just start seeing his decline phase here, but or we're just watching a bad year from him. And then last on the list is Nolan Arenado. He's 29, 2013 Topps Update Rookie PSA 10. At the beginning of August, end of July, his cards were going for $130 to $150 in that range. As of today, September 16th, we're talking $110 to $130, with them mostly being in the $125 range. So not a huge drop for Nolan Arenado. Despite the fact that he has not been very good offensively. His OPS looks fine, but when you factor in Coors Field, not great. But his defense has been amazing. Notes on Nolan Arenado: 5-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove, 4-time Silver Slugger. He's been a top 5 MVP choice 3 times. He's been a top 10 MVP choice 5 times. And he's been worth 8.4 Baseball Reference wins above replacement in 2018 and 2019. Now, why we went through all those guys and we went through those prices is Cody Bellinger dropped $200. Christian Yelich dropped at least $75 to $125. Javi Baez dropped $25. Jose Altuve dropped $25 to $15. And Nolan Arenado maybe dropped, but mostly stayed the same. The reason we're bringing this up, and the reason I'm talking about good players that are having bad years, is that what is the likelihood that Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich, Javi Baez, Jose Altuve, Nolan Arenado, the list keeps going, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, we talked about a little bit earlier, what is the likelihood that they all stopped learning how to hit or figuring out how to hit and are all just bad players right now in the MLB? Very, very, very unlikely that is the case. You're talking about guys that are either multiple top 5 finishes in MVP, have won an MVP. 3 of the guys have won MVPs, and 2 of the guys have been top 5 MVPs in their careers, multiple Silver Sluggers, multiple All-Star awards. Gold Gloves, the whole 9 yards for these 5 guys. If you add Chris Bryant to the list, who's really struggling, he's won an MVP in his career. I just didn't want to go 6, 7 guys deep here on this list. And so the likelihood that these guys are all struggling and are going to continue to struggle next year when you have a full spring training and 162 games, so you're not pressing, is unlikely. So most likely this season for a lot of these guys can just be chalked up to a 60-game season, no spring training. So no spring training, a weird summer league where they played their own, hit against their own pitchers. They didn't get to face the Garrett Coles of the world, those types of guys. And then they're having a 60-game season. So if you start out poorly and have a bad 10-game stretch in a 162-game season, nobody's going to bat an eye. But in a 60-game season, all of a sudden a bad 10-game stretch is 1/6 of your season. And that stretches on because you're putting more pressure and more pressure and more pressure on yourself. So I don't expect this to continue for any of those guys, with the exception of guys like maybe Jose Altuve and Nolan Arenado, who are getting older, especially Jose Altuve. Obviously, his wins above replacement in the last 2 years have been a little bit lower than the 2 years before that, and he's 30 years old, so you don't know, maybe we are seeing a decline phase here. But for guys like Cody Bellinger, who's 25, and Christian Yelich, who's 28, Javi Baez, who's 27, you can get good deals. I mean, you're talking about $200 off Cody Bellinger base PSA 10s. Now, some of that might have been shenanigans in the market in end of July, early August, where people are just inflating the prices of those cards. But still, there are good prices out there for the right guys that you can buy into right now. And it's unlikely that this list of former MVP and former All-Stars and, generally considered the top players at their positions in the game, it's unlikely that they continue to be bad next year with a full season and a full spring training. So if you're looking to find deals and you don't want to invest in the Kyle Lewises or the Luis Roberts or the Fernando Tatises of the world, look at stars that are already stars and are struggling this year and buy into those guys. 220 might be the lowest you can ever get Cody Bellinger again. 200 might be the lowest you can get Christian Yelich. So look at those guys and think about investing now while they're doing poorly in a very odd year. Anyways, thank you all for listening to this quick and short Dinging Corners. I enjoyed talking about baseball with all you guys and talking cards, so I'm glad you guys enjoy listening. And I will talk to you guys again next week.